When we look up at the night sky, it's common to think of the universe as something distant, unreachable, a silent vastness filled with stars and galaxies. But what if, every now and then, that silence was broken? The truth is, space, besides being mysterious, is also surprisingly present in our daily lives, especially when it decides to leave small or massive pieces of itself here on Earth. And these fragments, when they fall, do not go unnoticed. Throughout history, various curious and even dangerous objects have come from above, crossing the atmosphere and challenging human logic and understanding. These include ancient meteorites, unexplained metallic artifacts, spheres that appear on remote beaches, and even rocket parts falling into backyards. Some of these events have become scientific milestones, while others have fueled theories and speculation. But all of them, without exception, share one thing in common: the fascination with the unknown. With so many records, what exactly has fallen from the sky and surprised the world? Hello, curious minds. I'm Code, and this is Discover It, where curiosity knows no bounds. Subscribe and help the channel grow, because every time you like, comment, or share, you're helping us bring these discoveries to more people. Together, we can build a community where curiosity can change the world. And now, without further ado, let's jump into the video. On February 15, 2013, the sky over the Russian city of Chelyabinsk was streaked by a flash so intense it outshone the sun for a few seconds. An object from space entered the atmosphere at over 60,000 kilometers per hour and exploded about 30 kilometers above the ground. The shock wave from the explosion shattered windows, damaged hundreds of buildings, and injured over 1,000 people, many hit by shards of glass. The impact didn't strike the ground at full force, but the power of the event was so great that global sensors picked it up, classifying it as the largest event of its kind since the famous Tunguska incident in 1908. Imagine waking up with the sun shining, and suddenly the sky decides to put on its own show? That's pretty much what happened in Chelyabinsk. And it wasn't just any little light, it was powerful enough to blow out windows. The meteorite was about 17 meters in diameter and weighed approximately 10,000 tons before breaking up in the air. The explosion released energy estimated at 30 times that of the Hiroshima bomb, and the episode served as a warning about Earth's vulnerability to medium-sized celestial objects. There was no prior warning, no monitoring system detected the body in advance. Faced with such a sudden and impactful phenomenon, can we really trust our current ability to detect space threats before it's too late? In 2014, a meteor crossed Earth's atmosphere and fell into the ocean near the coast of Papua New Guinea. The event didn't attract much attention at the time, but years later, a study led by a Harvard professor reignited global interest in the object. According to the team, metallic fragments recovered from the ocean floor had a composition that didn't match any known material in our solar system. The spheres, small and highly symmetrical, displayed unusual physical properties, fueling hypotheses that went beyond simple natural formation. Confirmation that the object came from outside the solar system came from the United States Space Command, which analyzed its trajectory with high precision. The scientists involved avoided sensationalist terms, but highlighted that the materials might represent the first tangible traces of interstellar technology. There's no conclusive proof yet that it's an intelligent artifact, but if the hypothesis is confirmed, the world would be facing an unprecedented discovery. Could it be that, for the first time, humanity is touching remnants of something created by another civilization? In Tulsa, Oklahoma, in 1997, a woman was calmly walking through a park when something unusual disrupted her routine. She was struck on the shoulder by a small metallic fragment that fell from the sky. The object, weighing about the same as an empty soda can, didn't cause serious injury, but its origin surprised even the experts. After analysis, it was found to be part of a Delta II rocket from NASA that had disintegrated during atmospheric re-entry. This case became the only official record of a person being directly hit by space junk. Although thousands of objects orbit the Earth, most disintegrate before reaching the ground. The fragment that hit the woman survived the extreme heat of re-entry and reached the surface without losing its structure. On a planet with over 7 billion people, what are the chances of a piece of rocket finding someone at the exact moment? And how many other fragments cross the skies unnoticed? In Gujarat, western India, residents of several villages were startled by metallic objects falling from the sky in May 2022. The spheres had a black and silver appearance, were about 40 centimeters in diameter, and were hot to the touch. Local authorities quickly isolated the area and called in experts to analyze the material. The leading hypothesis was that the objects were pressurization tanks from rockets, typically used in orbital launches and sometimes returning to Earth during uncontrolled re-entries. Picture this. You're tending your yard and suddenly, plop, a shiny ball drops from the sky. If this were a video game, that would definitely be rare loot. The large number of objects scattered over a wide area left residents uneasy. Some of the spheres were found in farmland, others in house yards, and all showed signs of intense heat and impact. Scientists from Indian research centers collected the fragments for further analysis. With the exponential growth of space activity, is the planet heading toward a new kind of pollution, an invisible rain of orbital debris that could fall at any moment? In October 2021, in the city of Golden, Canada, a woman experienced one of the most improbable encounters with the cosmos. While sleeping, a meteorite crashed through her roof, passed through her bedroom, and landed on the bed just centimeters from where her head had been moments earlier. The rock was dark, weighed just over 1 kilogram, and was still warm when it was found. Scientists confirmed it was a chondrite meteorite rich in iron and nickel, likely billions of years old. The object had been spotted by others in the region, and security cameras captured its trajectory across the sky. This specific fragment survived atmospheric entry and maintained its structure almost intact until hitting the house. Cases like this are extremely rare, which only makes the event more impressive. In a universe where distances are measured in light years, how do we explain an ancient rock colliding with pinpoint precision into an ordinary house in rural Canada? In 1978, the Soviet satellite Cosmos 954 re-entered Earth's atmosphere uncontrollably and crashed over the Northwest Territories in Canada. What made this case particularly serious was the fact that the satellite was equipped with a nuclear reactor powered by highly enriched uranium. After the impact, radioactive fragments were scattered across a stretch nearly 600 kilometers long. The Canadian government launched a search and containment operation called Operation Morning Light, with support from the United States. The recovery of the debris took months and required strict safety protocols. Only a fraction of the radioactive material was recovered, while the rest remained scattered or unreachable. The fall of Cosmos 954 intensified international debate about the risks of using nuclear power in satellites, and Canada demanded compensation from the Soviet Union for the incident. In Cold War times, the episode represented more than an environmental risk. It was a reminder of how geopolitical conflicts could quite literally fall from the sky. In the early hours of February 8, 1969, a bright fireball streaked across the skies of Chihuahua, Mexico, before exploding in the atmosphere and fragmenting into thousands of pieces. This event marked the fall of the Allende meteorite, now recognized as the most studied meteorite in history. Belonging to the rare class of carbonaceous chondrites, Allende contains minerals dating back to the formation of the solar system more than 4.5 billion years ago. Its composition includes pre-solar grains, formed even before our sun existed. Over 2 tons of material were collected across a wide area, and the fragments were distributed to research institutions around the world. Each piece is considered a cosmic relic, used to understand the earliest moments of the solar system and the chemical processes that gave rise to the planets. Allende holds clues about the building blocks of life, making it an object of ongoing scientific interest. Could it be that within these ancient fragments lies a silent echo of Earth's very origins? On an ordinary day in Mexican territory, residents of a town were startled by the fall of a spherical metallic object directly from the sky. The orb, with a polished appearance and darkened surface, fell without causing explosions, but immediately drew attention. The artifact showed signs of extreme heating and structural deformation, common in objects that endure atmospheric re-entry. The lack of identification and unusual appearance sparked speculation about its origin, from experimental satellites to more controversial possibilities. Some residents reported that the object seemed to contain mysterious markings or patterns, prompting even a local meteorologist to suggest it might hold some kind of code or encrypted information. Authorities collected the sphere for analysis, but no official conclusive statement was released. The absence of explanations fueled the public imagination. In times of increasing space activity, where's the line between science and theory? And when the silence of institutions echoes louder than any confirmation? In August 2022, farmers in the Snowy Mountains region of Australia discovered an unusual object embedded in a pasture. A fragment approximately 3 meters tall, darkened with deformed edges. It was soon identified as a piece of space debris, specifically from a SpaceX rocket, likely belonging to the Crew Dragon capsule. The object had survived re-entry into the atmosphere and landed intact, causing a loud boom heard by many in the area. The incident reignited discussions about the growing volume of space traffic and the risks it poses to inhabited areas. While most space debris burns up during re-entry, some larger fragments still reach Earth's surface. In this case, the impact occurred in a remote area, avoiding greater damage. But what if it had landed in a city? As space exploration intensifies, accountability for these kinds of incidents must also keep pace with technological advances. The town of Hopewell Township, New Jersey, a woman entered her father's bedroom and found something completely unexpected. A dark stone about the size of a grapefruit lay on the floor beside a deep mark in the wooden floorboards. Looking up, 2 holes in the ceiling revealed the object's trajectory, which had pierced the roof, ricocheted, and fallen again. The fragment was still warm, leading to immediate suspicion that it was a meteorite. You know that phrase, "it came out of the blue"? Well, this was almost literal, with enough impact to leave a mark on the floor and on the heart of the homeowner. The suspicion was confirmed by scientists at the College of New Jersey, who identified a rock as a chondrite likely billions of years old. The impact caused no injuries, but left a lasting memory and an unavoidable question. Among so many celestial bodies drifting through space, how many other meteorites have fallen over urban areas unnoticed? And how many times has history almost changed by just a matter of inches? In a city where lights are part of everyday life, residents of Las Vegas were intrigued by an aerial phenomenon that didn't fit the usual spectacle. Bright lights hovered in the sky for about 5 minutes, shifting position in a synchronized manner before disappearing without a trace. The phenomenon was captured on cell phones and immediately sparked public and local media curiosity. With Nevada's skies frequently used for military testing, many awaited an official explanation. However, no response was provided by authorities or nearby bases. The absence of any official statement sparked a flurry of theories, ranging from secret exercises to possible encounters with unidentified objects. Uncertainty became fuel for theories that thrive where information doesn't reach. When official silence prevails, isn't it only natural for the human mind to seek answers beyond common logic? Deep in rural Namibia, back in 1920, a farmer accidentally discovered a massive metallic block while plowing his field. What appeared to be an unusual rock turned out to be one of the greatest mysteries ever discovered outside of archaeology, the Hoba meteorite. Weighing around 60 tons, it is the largest intact meteorite ever found on Earth. Composed almost entirely of iron and nickel, the object has an unusually flat and smooth surface, which may have prevented it from creating a crater upon impact, an extremely rare occurrence for impacts of such magnitude. It is estimated that the meteorite fell approximately 80,000 years ago, but it remained where it was found and was declared a national monument. Unlike other meteorites, which are collected or taken to scientific institutions, Hoba remains exposed at its landing site, becoming a tourist attraction and geological landmark. How can the survival of such a dense and heavy object over millennia with minimal wear be explained? And how many other silent giants lie beneath Earth's surface, waiting to be revealed? At the dawn of the 20th century, a settler in Oregon discovered a massive partially buried metallic block weighing about 15.5 tons. The object was later identified as the Willamette meteorite, the largest ever found in North America and the sixth largest in the world. Composed of iron and nickel, it featured deep cavities on its surface formed by millennia of oxidation and exposure to the elements. Local Native American tribes, such as the Clackamas, already knew of the object and considered it sacred, referring to it as Tamanawos, a celestial messenger. The meteorite became the center of a legal dispute after the man who discovered it attempted to transport it to his property, which ultimately led to its possession being transferred to the American Museum of Natural History, where it remains on display today. More than just an artifact, the Willamette is a symbol of the connection between ancient peoples and the cosmos. In an era when the sky was seen as sacred, how did these communities interpret the presence of such a strange and colossal body from space? In North Sumatra, Indonesia, in 2020, a man named Joshua Hudigalung had his roof pierced by a dense, dark rock while working at home. The object weighed just over 2 kilograms and quickly drew attention due to the way it penetrated the house's structure. Curious, Joshua showed the rock to neighbors and soon attracted the interest of collectors. Unaware of the object's true value, he ended up selling the meteorite for around $14,000 to a foreign middleman. Imagine selling a meteorite for $14,000 thinking you got a great deal, and then finding out it was worth nearly $2 million. My heart would barely be able to take that news. Later, experts identified the rock as an extremely rare carbonaceous chondrite, estimated to be over 4.5 billion years old. Estimates suggested the fragment could be worth up to $1.8 million on the international market. The news caused a stir and a sense of regret from the original owner. How many valuable discoveries have gone unnoticed due to lack of information? And to what extent is it possible to put a price on something that quite literally belongs to the universe? Early in April 2022, several metallic objects fell in rural areas of India, sparking concern among residents and local authorities. The pieces, including metal spheres and scorched cylinders, were quickly linked to debris from a Chinese Long March 3B rocket. The re-entry of the rocket's upper stage had reportedly occurred in an uncontrolled manner, causing fragments to fall in different parts of Indian territory. Fortunately, no one was injured, but the impact caused noticeable tremors in some regions. The event reignited debate over international responsibility in cases of uncontrolled re-entry of space equipment. As space becomes more accessible, the volume of objects orbiting Earth is growing exponentially. Without strict disposal and tracking protocols, the risk of accidents is bound to increase. Would it be possible to establish a global policy for space debris control and recovery before a more serious incident occurs? During a quiet day in November 2016, residents of the Kachin region in Myanmar heard a loud boom from the sky, followed by a violent impact. Upon approaching the area, they found a large metal cylinder about 4.5 meters long that had fallen near a jade mine. The object, partially buried, showed burn marks and structural damage caused by atmospheric re-entry. Shortly after, another metal piece in the shape of a ring was found in a nearby village. Investigations pointed to the possibility that the objects were part of a satellite or rocket of Chinese origin. The absence of injuries was a fortunate coincidence, as the impact could have caused significant damage. In densely populated regions, events like this could have far more serious consequences. With the sky increasingly crowded with artificial objects, what's missing for incidents like these to stop being exceptions and start becoming recurring problems? In a remote region of Norway, an unusual rock formation has intrigued generations of local inhabitants and researchers. The stone, irregularly shaped with a darkened surface, rests alone atop an isolated plateau where it became an object of reverence in past eras. Historical records show that ancient peoples performed ceremonies around it, attributing spiritual powers and celestial origin to the rock. Though long seen as merely a natural landmark with religious meaning, new geological analyses indicate that its composition may not be typical of the region's rock formations. Some scientists suggest it may be a fragment of an ancient meteorite with metallic traces in its structure that differ from the local mineralogy. The absence of a crater nearby has led to hypotheses that the object may have fallen thousands of years ago before the current landscape formed. The very idea that a stone once revered as sacred by ancient cultures could in fact be a space visitor is not only fascinating, it also challenges the boundary between belief, science, and mystery. How many other natural altars scattered across the world might actually be silent witnesses from the cosmos. On a September morning in 2015, residents of Bangkok, Thailand, witnessed a dazzling light show that quickly made headlines across Southeast Asia. A fireball streaked across the sky at high speed, emitting a flash so bright it was visible for kilometers. Security cameras, phones, and dash cams captured the event from multiple angles, and the footage spread across social media within hours. The visual impact was so intense that many thought it was a falling airplane or even an aerial attack. Soon, astronomers and local authorities spoke out, suggesting the phenomenon was caused by a meteor entering the atmosphere and disintegrating due to friction. Though the scientific explanation was plausible, it didn't stop alternative theories from emerging, fueled by the magnitude and visual precision of the event. How could something so bright and intense pass without any prior warning? And what if it hadn't completely disintegrated? The sudden appearance left one question hanging in the hot Bangkok air. How many more eyes will witness the sky ignite without knowing whether it's an omen, a natural phenomenon, or something that defies all definitions? While hiking in an isolated area of Colorado in 2011, Robert Dunn spotted something unusual embedded in the ground. It was a metallic object nearly 1 meter in diameter, partially buried and marked by signs of extreme heat. As he approached, he noticed inscriptions in Cyrillic, immediately raising suspicions about its origin. It was later confirmed that the item was part of a Russian rocket that had recently re-entered the atmosphere uncontrollably. The guy went for a walk and came back with a souvenir from a space race. And he even said, "I'll only give it back if they ask nicely." Hilarious. Robert's find gained attention due to its location and the condition in which the piece was discovered. He brought it back to his property and, with good humor, said he would only return it if he received a formal written request, just so he could frame it. More than a quirky anecdote, the case symbolizes how traces of space exploration are spreading across Earth. How far does responsibility extend for objects orbiting the planet? And who really owns what falls from the sky? Along the coast of Enshu, Japan, in early 2023, a mysterious-looking metal sphere appeared on the beach in Enshu in the Japanese city of Hamamatsu. The object, about 1.5 meters in diameter, was found partially buried in the sand and was quickly surrounded by local authorities who cordoned off the area and called in security and bomb experts. Although it was not considered a threat, the sphere had no identification markings, which led to numerous speculations about its origin. Its hollow structure and lack of significant external damage suggested the object may have floated for long distances before reaching shore. Still, some propose theories that it could be part of a satellite, a test capsule, or even an unknown artifact. Amid the silence from officials, the sphere became a symbol of a new kind of modern mystery. Things that come from space or appear to and challenge not only science, but also public understanding. Just how prepared are we to comprehend what the sea and sky return to us? Over time, the sky has gifted or surprised us with objects that go beyond the limits of the ordinary. Fragments of the universe, space debris, ancient meteorites, and enigmatic artifacts continue to fall to Earth, challenging our understanding and, at times, our safety. These phenomena remind us that despite technological advancement, we still live beneath a cosmos full of secrets that from time to time knock on our door or crash through our roof. Each of these events, no matter how improbable, carries a story that connects us directly to the universe. Whether through science, curiosity, or awe, these records become part of our own narrative as a species that watches the sky with both admiration and vigilance. If you enjoyed this journey of discoveries, don't forget to leave a like, share it with your friends, and comment below what caught your attention the most. Maybe others will relate, and we can start a great conversation. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more content where curiosity knows no limits.